Welcome to the Lubbock Lady Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Smith, and I'm here to celebrate the incredible women who make the Lubbock area the beautiful place that it is. From business leaders to creatives, moms to mentors, we're amplifying their voices and sharing their stories in hopes to inspire, connect, and lift each other up. This is about building a stronger, more vibrant community, one amazing woman at a time. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's dive into a conversation that celebrates the heart and soul of the Hub City. Hey creators, looking for a space where your ideas can come to life? Lightroom LBK is the place to be. It's not just a studio, it's a creative haven designed to inspire you. Whether you're capturing that perfect shot or hosting an unforgettable event, we've got the space and the setup to make it happen. With curated spaces for every kind of shoot and top-notch equipment, Lightroom LBK is where your creativity can really shine. So next time you need the perfect place to bring your vision to life, make Lightroom LBK your first stop. We can't wait to see what you create. So today on the Lubbock Lady Podcast, I'm sitting down right now with my best friend, Molly Darter. She is a woman who is making an impact in multiple spaces, from the construction industry to the fitness world. As a marketing specialist and sales representative at Caprock Brick, she works with builders across Texas, helping shape the future of our communities. She was recently inducted as the president of the Professional Women in Building for the West Texas Home Builders Association and was honored as the Rising Star recipient. But her influence doesn't stop there. Molly is also a coach at C3 Fitness, where she helps people push past their limits and become the best versions of themselves. And at home, she is walking alongside her husband, Luke Darter, as he pursues his dream of becoming a doctor. In this episode, we'll dive into how she balances leadership, personal growth, and supporting those around her. Hi, and welcome, Molly. Hi. I am so excited that you're here.
I'm pumped.
I cannot wait to just show the world how amazing you are.
Aww.
You are truly everything and more. And so let's kind of start on your career, and then we'll dive into all the aspects of who Molly is. And also, actually, let's just start with, who is your husband? How did y'all meet? Where are you from?
Yeah, so I am from Mangum, Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. Did not grow up in Lubbock, but I came here for college in 2016. Goodness gracious, almost 10 years ago. And went to LCU and stayed here ever since, essentially. I mean, I left for a little bit and came back. But my husband's name is Luke Darter. He is from Childress, Texas. We're both small town people. He is the most amazing person you'll ever meet. I shouldn't say good things about him because I'm sure he'll listen to this, but he deserves to know. We're not mushy people around each other, but we hype each other up all the time. He's great. He's studying to be a family medicine doctor, and he will just be the best doctor ever because he's so good with people and making them feel loved and valued. And he's been the best teammate ever. He's truly my best friend. So yeah, Luke, we don't have any kids. We have one dog named Rue, and that's
and how did you and Luke meet?
He also went to LCU, but he is a year younger than me.
Yeah.
And we kind of knew of each other, but it was COVID, and we were both back in our hometowns I was in Mangum, he was in Childress. Childress is only an hour from Mangum. So.
Yeah, such a fun fact.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy.
Y'all are that close all along.
I know. And so we had nothing else to do but just Snapchat people. That was cool then.
Yeah.
So I reached out to him first, which is embarrassing now, but hey, it worked out.
No, it's not embarrassing. Girl power.
No, it's not embarrassing. I sent him a Snapchat, and since that day, our streak has gone on. Aww. Ever since that day, we have sent a Snapchat to each other every day. So we technically started talking over Snapchat, but just as friends, and started hanging out on the weekends. And then when I eventually came back to Lubbock, we connected, started dating, and got married very quickly.
Yes. And where did y'all get married?
We got married in Littleton, Colorado, just
gorgeous.
south of Denver on February 22nd. So we just celebrated 3 years. It's crazy.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a beautiful wedding. It was small and cold, but so much fun. We had the best time.
Yes, it was great. Okay, so going into your career in leadership, you have such a dynamic role in the building industry. What led you to work at Caprock Brick, and what do you love most about your work?
Man, it was a long journey that got me there. So when I started at LCU as a college freshman, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I've always been a driven person when it comes to school. I knew I was good at school, and I enjoyed studying and going to school, but when it came to making decisions for what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, I was deeply terrified.
Yeah.
So when I decided...
I remember us talking about what you were going to do, and I was
it's just like, why do they make you decide that when you're 18 years old?
Gosh,
and you have so
I don't
much life
know.
to live.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to change majors because I am a very structured person. I didn't want to waste time. So I picked a major that was broad, that I felt like summed me up. And I was a communications major. That being said, I didn't know what I wanted to do with it, but I knew there was plenty of jobs I could have when I graduated. So communications major, which I loved learning about people and how people communicate, basically. I had great professors, learned a lot about myself at LCU. But my senior year, I was going to have to graduate early, and I really enjoyed the business side of things more than I thought I would. So I added a business minor. And then I decided to go to Washington, D.C. for an internship. I was going to spend my last semester there, and that was what, in my mind, that's what was going to tell me what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. I just needed to go away to a city, be a city girl, do an internship. And so I did, and I worked at the Department of Justice for the U.S. Attorney's Office. It was a cool experience, did a lot of really cool things, but it was January of 2020 when I got there, so I didn't know. Nobody knew what was about to happen. And so whenever COVID hit in March, my plans of staying in DC were over. They were like, you have to go home.
Like, you just got here.
Yeah.
I know you just got your room put together, but let's pack up and go home.
Yep. I was there. I worked for like almost 2 months, and then they sent me home. And home, I didn't have a place in Lubbock anymore because I was getting ready to graduate college. So I moved back home to my parents' house. So I went from Washington, D.C. back to Mangum, Oklahoma. And
you're like, what are you doing, God? What is this?
I had a lot of talks with God. I was like, I don't know what you're doing. I feel like a failure, which is, I think a lot of people felt that way during that time, but nobody
talked about it
or
knew how to express their feelings. Yeah. Everybody was just terrified.
Yeah. So I was left to go back home, and my dad's been a banker his whole life. And so every time I would go home I started working at the bank in high school, and then all through college, I would work at the bank and help him out. So when COVID happened, they were short-staffed because a lot of people got sick. And he was like, I got to have you help me while you're home. So I went to the bank, and I was working there trying to decide what to do with my life. And I decided I was going to go to grad school because that's what you do when you don't know what you want to do. You just go to school.
You're like, I'm just going to keep going to school.
Yeah.
Figure
just
it
be
out.
a college kid. I know how to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm getting to the point. I promise. It's a very long journey. But
No, I love it.
I had a youth minister growing up. I've known him my whole life, who had bought Caprock Brick in Lubbock. And he still lived in Mangum because we have a sister company there. And he had seen me at the bank. And I would help him with his deposits or whatever, because at the time I was on the teller line that day. They kind of moved me around a lot, but I had been working up front, so people knew I was there. And he saw me there, and he asked my dad what I was doing, and my dad was like honest with him, like, she's probably going to go to grad school, but that means she doesn't know what she wants to do. And my dad knows me more than I know myself. Very similar to him. We're both very driven, but I just sometimes need a little push. And he was like, well, you should ask her if she would consider helping me out in Lubbock. We just bought Caprock. We are looking to grow. I need someone to do marketing for me. So my dad asked me, would you consider, instead of going to grad school, just getting a job? Like, why don't you make some money for once in your life? And I was like, Dad, that's
coming
a great
from
idea.
a loving dad who didn't want to pay for grad school.
He's like, I would love to pay for grad school if I knew it was going to help you decide what you wanted to do. And I'm like, it's a good point, Dad. This is a fluff master's degree that I don't need.
Yeah.
So I cried a lot, prayed about it, and I was like, sure, I will work for you. But I never dreamed it would be for very long. I thought,
yeah,
we'll
I
see
remember.
what it's about.
Yeah.
And so I worked with him directly because I told him, like, look, I know nothing about this industry. Like, I don't know anything about construction.
I need you to take me under your wing and, like, show me what to do.
I did tell him, like, I will learn. I'm happy to learn. I know how to
and
take
you're a
care of
fast
people.
learner. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm happy to serve people well. And I knew in whatever job I did, I could serve well and build relationships. And so I worked out of his office in Mangum for a little bit because we, like I said, we have a sister company there.
Yeah.
Learned a lot because we were actually at the brick plant. And so learned a lot about the whole industry. And then if you guys remember, 2020 is when construction went wild. Mm-hmm. So while a lot of people couldn't find a job, I was thankful to be in an industry that was thriving.
Yeah.
So my job went from marketing quickly. I was in sales. I was thrown into sales because they had to have help. And we were looking to expand our market into DFW. So I was very helpful in establishing that market, getting trucking there, just establishing relationship with the customers there. So long story short, that's how I got there. 5 years later, I still work for Caprock Brick. I eventually moved to Lubbock. In that time, I met Luke. God worked everything out, and I've come a long way. I jokingly told my boss this week, we've been dealing with a lot of problems. There's in the supply chain, there's always going to be a problem when it comes to anything that you have to put on a truck is how I think of it.
Yeah.
But I told him, I was like, I've been here almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in July, and I still have to pretend like I know what I'm doing. And he just laughed at me. He's like, no, you know what you're doing. And it's true.
You do.
But a lot of people I've learned in the working world, people are just all pretending.
Yeah, we're all figuring it out.
Just figuring it out together and being honest and asking questions. And that's really helped me become successful, just being honest with people. I don't have an answer for you.
But I'm going to take care of you, and I'm going to find out.
And I promise I'll get back to you, yeah.
And you do.
Yes.
And that's what makes you successful, because literally 99% of the population doesn't follow up.
It's true, and it's sad. The bar's a little too low.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And I might be shooting that a little high, but that's what it feels like sometimes.
Yeah.
So you work with builders on a large scale, selling materials from Lubbock to Dallas. What is the most rewarding and challenging part of working in this space?
Man, there's a lot of challenges. The challenges change every week. I mean, last week there's tariffs in place and your product isn't going across the border. So you never know what challenges you're going to face. But I've learned to accept the challenges. The challenges are what makes it so rewarding. When you're able to overcome the challenges, that's when the reward happens. Because a lot of vendors, when there are challenges, I've learned with the customers we have, just say, we don't have an answer for you. And sorry, you're going to have to figure it out. And that's how we had so much growth during COVID. We said, we don't have an answer, but we're working to find an answer and get you product. And we continued to do that. And then they were so happy just because we followed through and tried. And that's what I've learned. The challenges are hard and stressful, but that's where the reward comes in. I love problem solving and being able to help people through a problem. And if you're just honest with people during those challenges, it makes the reward so much better.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's so profound. Such a good life lesson. So you were recently named the president of the Professional Women in Building for the West Texas Home Builders Association. I'm so proud of you for that.
Thank you.
I think you could be the president of the United States. So I'm not shocked whatsoever. But what does this role mean to you, and what are your goals for the year ahead?
Yeah, I love my PWB. That's what we call each other, the PWB organization. Really, it's just a way for me to serve. I really am big on servant leadership. I don't want to be the center of attention. I don't have to be. It's really not about me. It's just a position for me to really champion the other women that are involved and make sure they have what they need to be successful. For Professional Women in Building, we really focus on, we raise money for scholarships to support young individuals going into the construction industry, or young females We would really like to only support females, not only, but there's not a whole
Primarily.
lot of females in this industry.
Yeah.
And so we've had to expand our reach to just students in general that want to join the construction industry, because the average home builder and like trade person in Texas is like 55. So it's a dying industry. So we really are just trying to encourage the younger generation. So that's really my goal. I want young kids to see, oh, there is a career for me in that world. Like, I never knew I could sell brick for a living, but it's been a great career for me.
I never knew that was a thing until you
Yeah.
started working
Yeah,
there.
and I have great friends.
And
that
even
sell-
when you said you were like going to do that, I was like, what does that mean? Are you sure? Like, are you sure you want to go sell bricks, friend?
And I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
But that's because there's not girls that do it.
No.
I mean, even to this day, like,
No.
people call the office, like, can I talk to a salesman? I'm like, yeah, I'm happy to help you.
They're like,
I thought you
what?
were the secretary.
Yeah. Nope.
No, it's a different world we live in. And so I just
Yeah.
want younger girls to see working women in this industry and know that there's a place, to just consider that for their career. I have great friends that sell plumbing and realtors in this industry. There's so many things you can do. Banking, focus on the construction side. There's a whole lot you can do.
There's a
and
whole world.
Yeah, and I just want the younger generation to see that. So outside of serving,
I
the
almost
people-
teared up when you said like I asked you like what is like your role, or like what are you going to do this year as a president, and like literally you straight up go to, I want to serve people. Like, it just makes me like want to cry, because it's so true. Like, you're not making that up, and that's so like profound in your life overall. Like, you never want to be like the spotlight of attention, but like naturally, just because you love people well and you have a servant's heart, like you just become like positioned in that place. Which, if you go back to the Bible, like Jesus was the ultimate servant, and so that's why he was who he was no matter what, right?
Yeah.
But he gave us that ultimate example, and you do such a great job of like, you have these platforms, but you literally use it to empower the people around you.
Yeah.
And it literally just makes me so proud of you.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry too.
So
I've had a lot of talks with Luke and myself, days when it's hard, but I'm around people that I would have probably never been around if it wasn't for this industry, and the Lord's using me in that way. And even if it's just smiling, I mean, smiling at someone that's having a hard day means so much, and you don't realize that. I'm the only girl in my office, so I've learned just the gentle spirit that I bring can really change a lot of the way
The
people
environment
think
and the atmosphere.
how people feel. And
yeah.
I want to serve. I want to be who Jesus calls me to be. It's hard. My pride does get in the way sometimes.
Yeah.
And he reminds me over and over again that it's not about me. And so, yeah.
So beautiful. I love it. Thank you for that honesty and just your beautiful spirit. You were also honored, sorry, but you're just awesome, as the Rising Star recipient. This is such an incredible accomplishment. When I saw this, I was like, once again, duh, like she deserves every award there is to give. But what lessons have you learned on your journey that you'd share with other women striving for leadership roles or wanting to be a rising star in their own establishment?
I was shocked when they called my name. Had no idea I was getting that award. They had brought my parents in, which was really crazy. They don't live here. And I'm like, why are y'all here? And it was still, even when they called my name, I'm like, what? So it means the world that they saw me in that way. But my advice to young women especially is to start speaking up. I mean, it's scary walking in a board meeting and being, first of all, the youngest one in the room, and then also one of the few females. But just hearing from me in meetings, I don't have to talk the whole time, but just letting people know that you're there and that you want to help means a lot. And I'm not saying speak just to speak, but you have valuable insight. Like, you know a lot of things about technology, about the world, that the older generations don't, and they want to hear your input. And once I started speaking up and not just showing up to things within the Home Builders Association, but speaking up, volunteering, asking how I can help, really made such a difference. And I wasn't doing that because I wanted to win an award. I didn't even know that was an award you could win.
No, of course not.
It's been cool to see. I've given a lot of time to that organization, so it means a lot that they are honoring me in that way. But yeah, I think just speak up.
Good.
Find places where people can see that you're there and that you mean well. Don't just take up space, but be important, be helpful. Use your expertise, even things that I tell girls all the time. I'm like, you were a college student, you learned this and this about time management or the people around you, and that's valuable to people in the workspace now. So just share what you have and be confident in that. And it's not necessarily a confidence in the information you're sharing, but just speak with confidence. And I really had to learn that because it was scary being the only girl in the room for a long time. But
yeah,
just work
Speaking of like only girl in the room, the building industry is traditionally male dominated, like you're saying. How have you navigated that, and what advice would you give to women looking to make their mark in a male-led industry? I think a lot of that honestly ties with what you were just saying about like, don't feel like what you have to say or what you have to offer isn't enough. Don't let like the devil get in your head.
Yeah.
And be like, don't speak. You're going to sound stupid.
You're just a girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we've come so far. I mean, it's 2025, but it still is. People still aren't used to walking into Caprock Brick and seeing a girl. It happened literally this morning. I helped an older couple with some product they were needing. I came around the corner and they saw me and their faces lit up. Because women also have to go and buy brick and make these decisions, and they're intimidated to walk in these male-dominated places. So just being there, and she was like, I love your shoes, I love your leopard, I love your office. Like, just
like somebody you can trust and just feel the
on
warmth.
A personal level.
Yeah.
Has been so cool to see people, because building a house is hard and
it is
a lot of decisions, a lot of frustrations. So if I can just be one positive experience on their list,
and just like a warm feeling.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of times, like nothing against like the older generation or like anything like that, but they can be very like standoffish, cold. Mm-hmm. Even if they don't mean that, right?
Yeah.
Like even my dad, like love him, but he can come off very businessy, and like you're kind of scared to talk to him. And you're like, okay, dad, okay, bye. Yeah. You know, and that's even my dad. But like when it comes to business, that's just that generation. And so I think it is so important and valuable to have a woman like yourself in such a male-dominated field that can speak to that clientele. Mm-hmm. Because if you think about it, honestly, like everybody building houses, there's somebody that's like you, that's their client, mm-hmm. that they need to please. So having your opinion and your mindset and everything is just so valuable to these industries.
And females, we bring a whole different area. I'm not dogging on men. I love them.
I know I love men too, but I'm not.
We focus on details. I mean, we're organized in a way that men aren't, and it's all very, very valuable. So for advice to females is understand that you bring a lot to the table, even if you don't think you do. I mean, just because I know how to work Excel, I've been so valuable to the guys in my office, teaching them how to operate a spreadsheet, because guys just aren't naturally that way. So, you just know that you always bring something to the table or you wouldn't be there. And stand in that confidence, because you are there for a reason. And look for opportunities to, like I said, speak up. Bring your perspective, because you have a different perspective than some people do. Bring your perspective to the table, and people want to hear from you. So that's my advice.
So good, Molly. Thank you. That's even good for me to hear. Like it's encouraging to me, because sometimes like I step in rooms and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of people that mm-hmm. have been in this business. Like I'm a realtor, and like they know so much more than me, and I'm just little old Rachel. I'm 26 years old. I don't need to say what's on my mind. And so, I mean, I think no matter where you're at, like that's such a thing that the devil can get in our head and just 100%. Like tell us, don't speak. But like God wants us to speak. And like we're meant to be in the rooms we're in. Mm-hmm. So
100%.
Thank you for that. So you're not just a powerhouse in business. You're also a coach at C3 Fitness. What led you to step into the fitness world? Like what started your fitness journey?
Man, I did not grow up a sports girl. I did not play sports in high school, which is like I'm from a really small school, so the fact that I didn't play sports, I was kind of the loser. But
I doubt it.
the nerd. I had a really hard relationship with coaches. I'm a people pleaser. I'm working on not being so terrible about that. But whenever I let people down or feel like I disappoint people, it crushes me. Mm-hmm. And when I tried sports in junior high, that's how I felt all the time. Like the coaches were constantly mad at me and I was letting everyone down. So I just, for my own mental health, I just didn't do anything that was athletic. I was a cheerleader, but that doesn't really count in a small school.
Yes. We need cheerleaders.
Yeah. So I didn't really pursue fitness in high school. College came around. I dabbled a little bit, but I was embarrassed and scared to walk in a gym. It took a lot out of me to convince myself I was good enough to be there. It's scary to walk in a gym or to even start your fitness journey and know what's right and what to do. You know you're supposed to be moving your body, but there's so many opinions out there and you're worried about what people think, or I was. So it was like my senior year of college when I started consistently doing group fitness, and that is where I fell in love. I needed people around me to make me feel more confident. I needed someone telling me what to do. And I've done various aspects of group fitness, but it was about my senior year of college. I just started taking
And your
fitness
senior
classes.
year of college, you also went gluten-free, right?
Yeah, I did. I changed a lot about my diet. I just tried to take care of myself because I did not during most of college. I gained a lot of weight, was just very stressed all the time, wasn't sleeping, typical college kid, just didn't know what my body needed.
Yeah.
And when I was getting closer to my career, I was like, I need to get a hold of myself and learn what makes me feel good and what fills me up. And so I fell in love with fitness, group fitness specifically. Not because I looked a certain way or wanted to look a certain way, but I just felt so good when I was around other people and we were all working to make ourselves better, which eventually led me going to C3. And I took classes there for probably a year and a half before I volunteered, I guess, or tried out to be a coach.
Yeah.
And I just loved showing up every day. I loved running beside people. And I was like, I really think I would enjoy coaching.
Yeah.
I felt like it would be a fun creative outlet that was very different from what I did in my day-to-day life that I could enjoy. And Luke's in med school, so I needed something else to kind of fill my cup. So I tried out, and they're like, great, we want you. You need to get your license. So I had fun time like studying for my personal training license on the side.
Of course. You love little studying sessions.
I don't, there's a lot I don't know. I never took science classes because I was all
Yeah.
communications and business. So
Yeah. You're like, this is
Luke
a whole
had to
new-
help me a lot.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what led. I fell in love with it for myself. And I felt that because I took the classes and was in the classes with everybody would make me a good coach, because I had the perspective of a member, not necessarily as someone that's just walking in to coach you that's never taken the classes. And I still work out there. That's where I work out.
Every day. At what time?
5 a.m.
Oh my goodness. You're crazy. I love it. You're not crazy.
It's so
You're
fun.
amazing.
It's been so good for me.
Yeah. I wish I could do that. I don't think I could ever do that.
You can't.
No, I actually can't. I've tried going to class with you at that time, and I'm like, okay, I need a nap by 11 a.m.
You have to get used to it. I tell people that all the time, but I'm a stickler.
I'm going to be shocked if you can still do that when you have a kid.
I know. I do understand and recognize that we are in a different position right now without kids.
Yeah. But you probably will, because you're just that amazing.
It's crazy. The days that I don't do it, like today,
You feel horrible.
I feel so tired and just like,
Yeah.
man, I wish I would have moved my body this morning. But because I sit a lot.
That's
for
such
work.
a healthy, good
Yeah.
spot to be in. Like, I remember when I used to work out all the time and eat healthy, and I was just like, ugh, I don't want ruffles or this or that. Like, everything just started sounding gross to you. Or like sitting down didn't feel good anymore. You wanted to be walking or moving your body.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to get your body to that place. And right now, I am not in that place. I am out of shape. I'm unhealthy.
It's hard, girl.
But,
Seasons,
and so I'm
man.
in that spot where you were in college where it's like, I'm afraid to go to the gym because people are going to look at me like I am so out of shape. But I'm going to, you're going to motivate me to get back in there.
That is probably my favorite part about coaching is I see it's men and women that walk in the door, and I can just tell when they're terrified.
Yeah.
But I'm so proud of them because they came and they walked in the door.
That's literally the hardest part.
It is my job to make them feel comfortable. I'm not going to yell and scream at you. I mean, I'm not, you can look at me and you know, like, I don't look athletic. I'm not like this bodybuilder looking person.
I get what you mean.
I don't want to be intimidating. I just want to be kind and helpful, and like watching people step on that tread or pick up those weights and like just amaze themselves at what their body really is capable of doing is so cool and so fun.
I love that. So balancing work, leadership, and fitness isn't easy, or maybe it is to you. It doesn't seem easy to me. How do you personally stay motivated, and what advice do you have for the women that are listening who want to prioritize their health alongside a really like busy life and career?
Yeah, we're all busy. I mean,
It's the name of the game.
I think that's what I really felt like when people ask me how I'm doing, I'm supposed to say I'm busy.
Yeah.
And God is teaching me that that's not what you have to be all the time, even though I feel that way. But my advice is find a way that it works for you. Maybe that's just going on a walk when you get home from work. Find a way to move your body, and eventually you can build on that. But do something that works for you. For me, it's getting up before I go to work, before I get any emails. Sometimes before I get any emails. Some people that I work with like to get up early. But before my mind is stressed with work, to go in and get it done before my day starts. But for some people, that's their lunch break. For some people, it's as soon as they leave the office before they pick up their kids. They find time to prioritize themselves. Another thing that helps is packing your workout clothes the night before or laying them out.
Yeah.
Your tennis shoes, putting them in your car so if you have a second at work to go for a walk. I think just finding a way for it to work for you. It doesn't have to be for an hour. If it's 20 or 30 minutes, make it work. And it will really change the way you feel. And also change your mindset around it. When I stopped worrying about like, I'm working out so I can look like this. I mean, goodness, I'm almost 2 years away from 30 and I can't think like that anymore. I'm trying to prolong my life and make my body easier to live in and feel better. So do it because you want to feel good, not because you want to look good. That's my other piece of advice.
Yeah, we're long past those years. That's how I feel too. I'm like, oh, I'm just trying to survive at this point.
Yeah, just put things in your body that fill you up, and it'll make your busy days a lot less hard.
I love that. Thank you. Okay, so your husband, Luke, is studying to become a doctor, as we touched on earlier. What has this journey been like for both of you, and how do you support each other through just both of like his schedule and your career and fitness and everything?
Yeah.
I feel like fitness is actually a good outlet for y'all.
It is.
Like y'all do that together most of the days?
We work out together every day. Sometimes our car ride to the workout class is really the only moment we get together all day. And that's why it's so holy, honestly. That sounds crazy, but it's an act of worship for me, fitness is. And I love getting to work out with Luke, but it's just prioritizing time with each other. And I'm fortunate that he does the same for me. I understand that his school is a lot, and he understands that my work is a lot. And that sometimes, I have long hours or after hours events. Mm-hmm. And I understand that sometimes he has to stay up late studying. But for the most part, he treats his school like an 8 to 5.
Yeah.
And so, we try to have dinner together every evening if we can, go for a walk. We try to just have 1 to 2 hours every night together to prioritize that time. And that's made school feel a lot less scary.
Yeah.
'Cause I was scared when he started. When we got married, he wasn't in yet, but he was in the process of trying to get into school, which was a whole nother monster. But once he got in, I was really scared that he would forget about me, basically. I knew he wouldn't because that's not who he is. But
yeah, there's still that
just prioritizing just little pockets of time. We travel. We love
little
to
pockets
travel
of time.
anytime he has breaks. I mean, we have a vacation plan for his next break. And I saved my PTO to use for him.
Where are y'all going?
Dominican Republic. We're going to the beach. I can't wait.
So fun. I love it.
Yeah, I don't even know what the question was, but I just know that we spend a lot of time together when we can and prioritize our weekend. And I really have tried to be better about boundaries. I don't say yes to every work event that's on a Saturday or all of the evening events, I try to only do a couple of them a week because I do coach 2 nights a week. So if I'm coaching 2 nights a week and then I have 2 work happy hours or mingling events, it takes a lot of time away from
y'all's little 2 hours a night that y'all try to do. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so beyond your career and marriage, what drives you, Molly Darter, personally? Are there values or passions that keep you grounded in the midst of everything you do?
Yeah. To be completely transparent, there are seasons where being grounded is really hard.
Yeah.
And those are the seasons where I'm not asking for the Lord to walk with me.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, he continues to be faithful even when I'm not asking him to be. But when I'm recognizing that he's walking with me, it's a lot easier for me to be grounded. So
yeah,
faith has always been important to me. But as I've gotten older, I've really focused on the relationship side of that, like really getting to know Jesus and getting to know the Father and understanding the Spirit is with me. And that has really changed the way I live and work and do. I'm not saying I don't fail at that sometimes, but when I remember, like, it's all going to be okay. Like, at the end of the day, he brought you here. He's with you. And I stay rooted in that. It usually keeps me pretty humble and keeps me going, keeps me energized, keeps me excited to do what I'm called to do every day. And then just realizing, like, all the relationships he puts in my life, working, friendships, they're all from him and they're all good. And finding ways to just cultivate those relationships and champion the people around me. Yeah. Because that's what he would want. So.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on today, friend. How can people, if they're wanting brick or stone for their personal home, how can they reach you? Do you have a work phone number?
Yeah, we can leave our office information in the comments, or you can shoot me an email. It's easy. Molly@caprockbrick.com. So
awesome.
Emails I prefer, but feel free to give me a call or find me on social media. I'm pretty easy to find.
Yeah.
So,
or if you're wanting to get plugged into the Home Builders Association or whatever.
I'd love to bring you along.
Or C3. Yes. You want her to coach you into fitness?
Yeah,
whatever.
Come take a free class. I'd love to be friends with you in any way you would like to hang out. So.
Yeah, awesome. Well, she's the best friend. Aww. And thanks, Molly, for coming on today. I love you.
Thanks for having me. Love you too.
Thanks for joining us on the Lubbock Lady Podcast. I hope today's conversation left you inspired by the incredible work and passion of women in our community. By sharing these stories, we're not just celebrating them, we're lifting each other up and building something powerful together. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it, leave a review, or follow the show so we can amplify more voices and spread the impact. Until next time, keep shining and making Lubbock proud.